Hola, hola. Bienvenidos a Esperanza Vence, donde la esperanza vence. Welcome to Esperanza Vence, where hope wins. Today I'll be pulling in the energies of the upcoming Gemini full moon. It's happening on December 7th/8th, depending on where you are on the planet. Ooh! Oh heavens. I just pulled out, or these just jumped, the Queen of Pentacles reversed and the Hermit. That's personal. I'm taking this shit personally. Queen of Pentacles reversed is how I feel today. Like, I don't feel very earthbound today, and I'm hermiting myself. I'm just letting myself like kind of like get all sort of spaced out and in the vibe. I mean, I'm trying not to be too hard on myself. I'm trying not to be too hard on the fact that like I'm having, because the Queen of Pentacles upright, if we want to talk about her, because I always talk about it upright before I talk about it in the reverse, but Queen of Pentacles upright is always a person that like, she's very earthy. If she were an astrological sign, she would be an earth sign, so she'd be like a Capricorn, a Taurus, a Virgo, somebody that's very good at like managing their finances, managing how to put food in their face, a person that's very good at managing a household, managing a family. She's someone that is very practical and takes care of business. And I'm pulling the Queen of Pentacles reversed, and I'm having a hard time with all of that shit right now. Like, I'm just, seriously, there's like 6 of you watching, maybe. You know what I mean? Like, what do I have to lose by being vulnerable and honest? You know, not much. Because I'm not the Queen of Pentacles upright. I'm this character. And I'm also this character. The Hermit. The Hermit gains enlightenment on their own path, alone. Like, the enlightenment is within. It's contained, you know? The Hermit's a card about just like letting yourself be by yourself and carrying your light and knowing that this, because this is the star, this is the same star that's in the star card. This is the star of wishes coming true, and like, you know that your wishes can come true, but you have to gain the alchemical knowledge to be able to be cool with that. And like, sometimes, you know, that's like when we pulled these 10 cards just now, there's a position in the Celtic cross for hopes and fears, because sometimes when your hopes do come into fruition, you know, you can fuck it up by being like anxious about it, you know, or not knowing what to do with what your wishes come true, you know. So here we go, Gemini full moon. It's actually exactly conjunct with Mars retrograde, which is in Gemini right now, and it's in my 12th house, so maybe that's why I'm having such a 12th house day, because I waited to pull in the energy of this moon, because I was like, well, I could do this video, and it just didn't feel it, and then finally today I'm like, whoa, I am feeling some 12th house matters today. That's where Mars is stationed in my chart. At the time of the full moon, it will be at 16 degrees of Gemini, conjunct the moon, Mars reverse. So Mars in retrograde, like, Mars is stronger, actually. It's naturally a planet of action. It's a planet of moving forward. It's our drive. It's our root chakra energy. It's the basis of our reality. And in retrograde, the feeling, the pull is even stronger, especially conjunct this moon. It's just like, I heard an astrologer, she's hilarious, I love her so much. Shout out to Coyote Star Astrology. She did a really good video on this full moon, and she was talking about the chart just being like a hot ass mess, and just like a ball of yarn with all these like colors that don't match, and just everything is all over the place. And I was like, yeah, it's like an ugly sweater party. You know, and it's Sagittarius season, and a lot of people are feeling party and jovial, but it's also a sad season for a lot of people. Sagittarius season For a lot of people, because we remember those who we've lost, and we remember those that aren't sitting at the table anymore, or maybe like people who we used to build a home with, and they might not be here anymore and stuff. And it could be a time for us to reflect on, you know, you don't want to hang on to the past, of course. You want to be able to move forward, but you do want to honor our friends and our loved ones who are on the other side. And when we light our candles for Sagittarius season, you know, we're inviting them to come and party with us a little bit too. It's not just Dia de los Muertos that we do this, you know. So a lot of us feel sentimental around this time of year too. The days are getting darker, you know, and, you know, when it's Leo season, the sun is shining for 15 hours a day or whatever. A lot of us are just so active, so Martian, you know. Mars is retrograde now, but when Mars is moving forward and Leo season is in full bloom and the sun is shining and we're so active and we're doing the things and we're harvesting and planting and growing in the sun and dancing our little hearts out, sometimes our ego, oh, these two jumped out too. Aw. Two of Pentacles and Eight of Swords reversed. That's pretty cool because Two of Pentacles is like juggling a job and a side hustle, or just a delicate balance of like keeping things in check. Eight of Swords, we'll talk about her upright. Eight of Swords upright is a card of just like being held back by your own mental insecurities, and she could just free herself anytime she wants to, but she doesn't even realize that there's all those swords there that like put her there, but they're also there to free her. Swords always represent thoughts, communications. It's air energy. It's, see all that air blowing her hair, you know? She's blinded and she's bound, but if she wanted to, she could see and she could be free. But she just has to understand that it's her own mentality that put her there, and it's her own mentality that can release her. So I like to see Eight of Swords in the reverse, because this means that like we can burst free. Like now the time has come. Like we don't have to like be in that state of mental imprisonment anymore. We can burst free out of that bullshit. And Two of Pentacles is a pretty positive card, I think. I'd rather see the Three of Pentacles, of course, because that means that you can bring it out into the community. But Two of Pentacles, it's choppy waters, you know, you're doing your thing, you're balancing act here. But you still have the infinity dance. You still keeping it in motion. You know? Alright, let's pull the cards. I've had enough jumping cards for now, so let's just do the Gemini full moon. If you guys want to know more about the Gemini full moon, I would recommend the full moon video on Coyote Star Astrology, like I already mentioned. She's amazing. I would also highly recommend Son of Selene. I already recommended Adam Allen Bass last time, so go ahead and give that a click too. Gregory Scott always has like a really positive spin on the astrology, and like I know he's going through it right now, and he still shows up every single day. He does his tarot readings for y'all. He does his thing, and shout out. Yeah, so there's a lot of astrologers that'll give you a more holistic view on the energies that are coming for this Gemini full moon, but I'm just going to pull the cards. I'm going to pull a 10-card Celtic cross. We're going to read quick, and we're going to read real, and we're just going to see what the tarot wants to tell us about these next couple upcoming days surrounding this full moon in Gemini. Whoever's tuning into this video. Let me take a little sip and we'll get going here. Tarot, tried and true. What's it say? How do it do? Help me say what I can see. Tarot, talk to me. Full moon in Gemini. This is us. This is what's crossing us. I didn't set anything up before starting this, so hopefully everything fits in the screen. This is in the near past. This is in the near future. This is Artemisia, by the way. My dear friend who owns the farm where I work, she harvested this for me and gave me a sage stick. This is the wise woman sage stick. And when you burn this, the energies of the ancestral wise woman is upon you. So she gave that to me before I had a festival this summer so that I would have good energy doing my readings. This is in our conscious awareness. This is in our subconscious awareness. This is how we see ourselves in the situation. I can already tell that I should be more professional, but I tell you, it's a 12th house day. Just all 6 of you aren't judging me, so only 3 of you are. There, now it'll fit. It's how we see ourselves in the situation. It's how others see us in the situation. These are our hopes and fears. And this is the likely outcome. All right. Full moon in Gemini. Coming in hot. Let's play. This is us. The devil. Holy moly. This is what's crossing us. 2 of Swords. This is in our conscious awareness. Knight of Swords reversed. This is in our subconscious awareness. 8 of Wands reversed. This is in our near past. 2 of Wands reversed. This is in our near future. Death. Wow. This is how we see ourselves in the situation. King of Cups. This is how others see us in the situation. 4 of Pentacles. These are our hopes and fears. Oh, 5 of Cups reversed. Cool. I like to see that in the reverse. And this is the likely outcome. There's our 8 of Swords again. Holy crap, but she's again in the reverse. So the likely outcome. Okay, F it. I'm starting this reading with the outcome, okay? Well, I'll at least talk about it for a minute, but this excites me as the likely outcome because, like we were talking about before, when she jumped out at us before, the 8 of Swords is a card of like, I'll get to it. Fuck it. I'll read a Celtic cross like a professional tarot reader should. Bienvenidos a Esperanza, Vence. Welcome to Esperanza, Vence, where hope wins. Thank you so much for supporting my efforts here in this dimension and all other dimensions. I'm just trying to pull in the energy of the upcoming Gemini full moon, which is directly conjunct Mars retrograde in Gemini at 16 degrees. And that is affecting my 12th house. So I'm dealing with 12th house matters right now, which has to do with like spirituality, addictions. And, you know, I always put out the disclaimer that, like, although I'm pulling in the energies for this moon, these tarot cards might be speaking to me personally as well. And I can already see, like, you know, the addictions coming up, the, you know, the future of the death and like, I can see this happening in my life personally. But if you have some sort of connection to this reading as well, which I hope that if you're drawn to this video that you do, please just go ahead and leave a like, a comment, a subscribe. Let me know how the energies of the Gemini full moon are affecting you personally. And just, if you don't want to leave it in the comments on YouTube or whatever, because, like, probably if you're watching this video, you're actually a friend of mine. And if you're going through it, like, I just want you to know that, like, you can always reach out to me. If you're my friend, you have my number. And if you're not my friend, you can be my friend. And you can always reach me on my website, which I leave the link below. And there's a contact form on my website, and you can email through there, and we can connect. And my readings are donation based. If you need to connect further with whatever it is that you're having questions about, just don't hesitate to reach out. The donations are suggested, but, like, literally, like, I've done readings like this past week on all kinds of price points. There's people that are like, I want to pay you more, and there's people that are like, I'm gonna pay you that. It's a donation or whatever, but just, I'm here for you. So if you're tuning into this video and you're tuning into my vibe, and my vibe is tuning into you, well, then thank you and you're welcome. And hit me up on the contact page. It's all good, dude. Like, we're all trying to make our way out here in this world, and if I can help you, help me, help you, all the freaking better, man. All right, so let's get to this Gemini full moon. So, we are the querent, which is the devil. This is a card that has to do with, like, addictions, addictive processes, fun, celebration. This is a Capricorn card. There could be a Capricorn in our lives who's prominent at this point in time. That's why I'm like, gosh, am I taking this reading personally? Because, like, I don't know. We'll see. But the devil has to do with just, like, usually the card of the devil has a pair on the card, which I consider to be the flip side of the lovers. You know how, like, you can have the lovers and you can have a twin flame, and you can have, like, a very sensual, spiritual connection with somebody? But the flip side of that is love addiction. The flip side of that is, like, being chained and bound to a situation that you put yourself in. Even though the chains are loose, they're still there. And if you don't have the mental faculties to be able to just sort of, like, wrap yourself out of that, that can become a thing. So the devil showing up as the querent in this reading is that, like, whoever is tuning into this reading right now, or tuning into this reading with me, or because I'm reading for the moon in Gemini anyway, we could just be seeing the dark side of the moon. We're not seeing, because the Lovers card is the I wonder if I can find it. Probably can't find it quick enough, but the Lovers card is the Gemini card in the tarot, and the devil, I feel, is, like, the flip side of that. And basically, if we're asking about the Gemini full moon coming up and we're getting the devil, I think we're getting, like, the dark side of the moon energies at this point in time. And coming through with, like, a lot of the astrology that I've been hearing about and stuff, it seems concurrent with the energies that are pulling through. But this is just what the tarot wanted to say to either me personally or to us who are tuning into this. So we need to mind our addictions. We need to mind our addictive processes. We need to mind, but we also need to keep in mind that, like, the devil is a really important part of our physicality and our life here on Earth. It's a Capricorn card for a reason. And Capricorns get shit done. And Capricorns are the ones that climb the mountain. And Capricorns are the ones that don't mind letting their ego shine forth And, you know, maybe this is a card, you know, if you're not a huge narcissist or something, or if you don't have like huge ego problems, maybe what you need to do during this full moon in Gemini is get like maybe more in tune with your own ego and your own like little kind of inner devil, and just let it shine a little bit. Crossing as the obstacle is the Two of Swords. Two of Swords is an air card because, again, remember the swords always represent air. Air is going to be energy of like communications, thoughts, any type of emails, words, conversations that you're having. And the Two of Swords is a card of being in a state of suspension, and it's willful suspension. It's just like a lower form of the Hanged Man of the major arcana, which means that like we're wondering which way to go. Should we go this way? Should we go that way? Are we gonna do this job or that job? But it's more like mundane, like daily decisions that we're kind of on the fence about. And as a challenge, it would just be like we're not really sure which way to go. Like if this is us and we're the devil in this reading, and I don't want you to think of the devil in terms of like, you know, patriarchal Judeo-Christian sensibilities. Let's think of him as like Pan. That's kind of how he looks in this card anyway. Bacchus. Whoever brings the party, you know? Because look, there's a cicada here too. And there's the light, you know? So, I mean, we got to be accepting of ourselves. The challenge is that we can't decide which way to go at this point in time. In the near past, we have the Two of Wands reversed. So the Two of Wands upright is like, we have our passions, we have our fire, we have our established passion, and then we have the world in our hands, and we have another passion that we want to give out into the world, and we're not sure what we're going to get back. In the reverse, the Two of Wands might be that like, yeah, we gave out our passions, we gave out our ideas to the world, and maybe nothing came back of it. You know, in the near past, like maybe we did present our ideas and our ideas came nothing, you know, or maybe it's more of an internalized pursuit to where like we're not embarking on anything new, or we just embarked on something new and now we're done with that. But either way, like in the near past, the Two of Wands in the upright or in the reverse, because it's interesting, like even in personal readings, two people, like I can think of a reading that I did like not last week but the week before, and she got the Two of Wands. Gosh, what position was that in? I can't remember, but like I was explaining that like it's a card. Oh yeah, I know what it was. She got this card in the position of like how others see the situation. And like the Two of Wands is a card of having the world in your hands. And if in the near past, like it's in the reverse, like maybe we felt like our world might be falling out of our hands a little bit, like our passions and our creativity, like we might have put it out there, but it was stupid and nothing came of it, you know? I'm just gonna do this quick because like I'm already like 24 minutes into it, and I said I was going to give a quick read, and now I'm making like a long story longer, and like I know I kind of talk too much. So Two of Wands reversed in the near past means that like maybe we put ourselves out there, but it really just didn't amount to that much. In the near future, we have this to look forward to: death. And what I always tell people whenever they're like, oh my gosh, I'm freaked out to get a tarot reading, like, what are you gonna tell me, that I'm gonna die? And I'm like, yeah, that's absolutely what I'm gonna tell you. That's the only thing I can tell you with 100% certainty is that you're gonna die, motherfucker. I don't know when, I don't know where, and I don't know how, but we're all gonna die. That's a fact. In the near future, we have to look forward to, because you see this white rose is a rose of purity, and purification, and roses always represent like purity of heart, you know, in the tarot. And I literally, I love the death card in all, pretty much every tarot deck I've ever seen. My Russian tarot deck, the death card is so hardcore. Oh my goodness, there's like heads flying everywhere. It's so intense, you know. This death card is a little bit more of a metaphor, if you will. But still, I mean, you recognize this. It's the angel of death. It's the Grim Reaper, you know? It's that shadow. What's that Tool song? There's a shadow just behind me, shrouding every step I take, making every promise empty, pointing every finger at me, waiting like a stalking butler, who upon the finger rests, murdering out the path of must we, just because the sun has come. You know, like, I think we could all, you know, oops, I just did that, and I don't know how to undo it, because I'm, like, technologically not great. But, it's funny, too, because I worked for a technology company for years. That's, like, really the last time I made, like, any real money. I used to be, like, an IT, like, whiz, and now I'm just, like, I'm in outer space, and I read tarot cards. Like, but anyhow, the death card, in the near future here, we can look forward to a serious transformation in skin shedding. And, you know, in our daily lives, we work on this like Julian calendar, if you will, and people think that like the new year is a time of new beginnings. So okay, fine, it is. If that's what the story is, then that's what it is, because if enough people put it out there, that's what it becomes. So yes, okay, fine. The new year, we're shedding our skin before the new year, probably, is like how I'm kind of reading this card. And I mean, death could literally mean a legitimate death, you know, in the near future. A death of our old selves, and we're becoming our new selves. The death of our, you know, I was just talking about this with my friend the other day. It's like, you know, we could go anytime. People are morbid. They say this and that. But, like, literally, the universe is listening to us. We might as well put out good wishes. But in the near future, you know, your life as you know it could be falling right away and just like withering off the vine, and you have to just transform yourself and get ready for new outcomes. In our conscious awareness, we have the Knight of Swords reversed. Knight of Swords upright is an air sign. That's going to be a Gemini, a Libra, or an Aquarius. I usually read knights as people. So that's going to be a person in your life that's already established. They're probably in their like 30s or 40s. They already know their shit. They already know what they're doing. They come in, they tell the truth. They don't really care how the truth is received, but they're honest and they're forthright. In the reverse, like, we just need to keep our eyes peeled in our conscious awareness for like people who might be telling lies, or lies that we might be telling ourselves. It doesn't have to be a person in our lives. It could just be an energy, really. I'm going to start to speed up this reading. It's getting like way too long. Sorry. But this is like an idea of what you would get if you booked a 40-minute reading with me. I do get really intuitive, and I do get really deep, and I know that I spent like almost 17 minutes at the beginning just shuffling cards and tuning into the energy anyway. But if you did book a 40-minute reading with me, you know, I space out. Like, I literally go there, you know. I'm not a fraud, and I won't. I'm an air sign, sun sign, but I won't lie to you, you know. And But anyway, in our conscious awareness, back to the reading. This is enough of me plugging myself, but back to the reading. Like, we just want to be aware that during this Gemini full moon, and Gemini is an air sign, so we could be feeling the energy of this moon coming more internal, or it could be a little bit backwards for us. In our subconscious awareness, we have the Eight of Wands reversed. Eight of Wands upright is going to be a card of quick moving energy, just getting answers to things, getting responses to things that we've put out there, just fast moving energy. And in the reverse, during this full moon, we can just expect like a moment of stagnation. And it makes sense because the moon is exactly conjunct Mars, which is retrograde in Gemini at 16 degrees, and it's not going to start, things won't start moving forward or making sense until like March of next year. So this makes perfect sense for the full moon, that like subconscious energy would be like the undercurrent for this whole story, and a feeling of stagnation and not getting answers. That makes like perfect sense. How we see ourselves in this situation is King of Cups. This is a person who is in great control of their divine masculine emotional energy. Cups are always water signs. I read them as people, so that's going to be a Cancer, a Scorpio, a Pisces. This is somebody that's like really chill. They're very able to like share emotionally between another person. You know, they have a cup. They can offer their cup or they can keep their cup to themselves, you know? There's a lot of cultures, especially it reminds me of like when I lived in Florida, a bunch of my friends were from India or from Indian heritage, and they did not like sharing cigarettes or drinks or anything like that, because they believed that like when you share spit with somebody else or when you share germs with somebody else, you're also sharing their karma, and that their karma embodies like, you know, ancient lineages from, you know, timeless lineages, and they weren't willing to share that cup with just anybody, you know? So that's the thing about the King of Cups, is this is how we see ourselves in the situation. We see ourselves as like being in good control of our emotions and our emotional offerings, and also our emotional responses to the world. How other people see us in this situation, however, is Four of Pentacles. Stingy as fuck. No, just kidding. Four of Pentacles is a card of an energy. It's usually not a person. Pentacles are cards of like earth, basically. So in the Four of Pentacles, we have somebody who's just like really keeping their resources to themselves. They're trying to save. They're trying to establish themselves, you know. They're really not trying to share at this point. They're just concerned with establishing their own place in the world and their own wealth and their own home. And earth signs are going to be like, again, a Capricorn, a Taurus, a Virgo, like people who are practical and down to earth. But in the Four of Pentacles, in the traditional Four of Pentacles card, this person is sitting on a throne and like really clenching their pentacles to themselves. And this one, they have like a little bit more of a relaxed demeanor, but they're still just trying to like get a hold on what's theirs versus what they share, you know. A 1 is the card of the self. The 2 is the card where you just start to share with one other person. A 3 is where you're appreciated by society, and a 4 is what you build like in the outer community. And in this card, this person's just trying to like wrap their head around all of that. This is how other people see us in this situation. Our hopes and fears is Five of Cups reversed. Five of Cups upright is this card of just like sadness, depression over things that have been spilled and things that have been lost. But like I always say, in the Five of Cups, there's always a Two of Cups behind them, whether they see it or not. they're able to take these 2 cups, and the 2 of cups is the blessed card of just like the beginnings of an emotional friendship or love or magic, any type of like a journey that you would find with a friend that is a twin of yours, you know. And the 5 of cups upright is just sadness, despair, you know. Maybe you lost a twin, maybe you lost a friend, you know. In the inverse, this is our hopes and fears, is that time's over. Like, we might have to like quit feeling sorry for ourselves, you know what I'm saying? Like, maybe we were mourning something that happened. Like, I mean, I'm taking this reading fucking personally. Listen, I am. But we'll see. I always take everything really personally. It's just how I am. I'm a Cancer ascendant. But the 5 of Cups reversed, just as our hopes and fears, like maybe we're hoping for a time of sorrow to be over, but maybe we're fearing the time to where like we can't use that as our story anymore. We can't use that as our excuse anymore. Like, oh, well, I get so crazy and effed up because my story is this and that and cry me a river. Well, that time's up. You know, we have to put on our big boy and our big girl pants and just get on with it. And once again, here we have this 8 of Swords reverse, which just confirms that even more. Maybe we have to give death to, you know, our old selves. In the near future, we're having death to our old selves and our old stories of the Cry Me a River. And, you know, we might be worried about this person coming into our lives telling the truth. You know, we do have stagnating energy, and there could be some addictions, and we don't know which way to go. We might have put ourselves out there in the past, and it didn't amount to anything, you know? We might see ourselves as, like, kind and balanced, but the world sees us as, like, practical and stingy, you know, and just working hard and not really, like, maybe even emotional at all. Look at the stoic look on that person's face. You know? I don't know. But in the near future, in our likely outcome, is the 8 of Swords reverse. And I really like to see her in the reverse. Because in the upright, like we talked about before a couple times in this reading, you know, her thoughts put herself in that situation. And her thoughts can bind her, and her thoughts can free her. So if it's in the reverse, we just know this time is over too. Like, the time of, like, cry me a river, that's your story. Take those 2 cups and offer it to someone new. You know? We're done feeling sorry for ourselves. And we're done letting our own thoughts bind ourselves. Now it's the time to let our thoughts free ourselves and free our vision. And that's what I have. And that makes sense because it's like a Gemini full moon too, because like that has a lot to do with like the thoughts that free or bind you. And I really meant it when I said we have this to look forward to, because I think that a lot of us have old skin that just needs to be shed. And if we are the life of the party, then good for us. You know, if we are the Capricorn, or we have, for me, my 7th house is Capricorn, so that's like my closest relationships, my one-on-one relationships, and I have struggled with the devil inside myself and also in my partnerships, and I also struggle with like not knowing where to go, you know, in these partnerships. But I don't know if anybody else can relate to any of this, but this is what I have for the Gemini full moon coming up, directly conjunct. Oh, and I didn't even mention, but you should watch Coyote Star Astrology, because I believe it's at like between 26 and 27 degrees of Sagittarius is the galactic center, and that's a fixed point that basically, like, a lot of cultures, particularly the Mayan culture, believes that that was like the center womb of our entire selves, like the universe that we exist in and how we relate. So you might want to look and see where that falls in your chart too, because that could give you a little bit more juice about this juicy moon. Love you. Peace. Bye.